The man she married died 5 years ago. She has the death certificate to prove it. So why is he standing in her kitchen right now? Her name was Elena Martinez, and 3 months ago, she was drowning in $300,000 of medical debt from her sister's cancer treatment. Then a man in a black suit delivered a letter in a Rolls-Royce. Miss Martinez, you have been selected for a unique opportunity. Compensation for your time, $10,000, regardless of your decision. She was there at 7:45. The penthouse in Manhattan had its own private elevator. A woman in her 70s sat in a wheelchair by the window, dripping in diamonds, with eyes that could cut through steel. Miss Martinez, she said without turning around. Do you believe in second chances? Before Elena could answer, my grandson, Alexander Sinclair, needs a wife. You need money. I'm proposing a business transaction. She turned her wheelchair, tears filling her cold eyes. Alexander died in a car accident 5 years ago. We buried him. I held his hand as the machine stopped. But 3 months ago, I saw him. Walking, breathing, living in his mansion as if he never died. Elena's heart raced. That's impossible. His twin brother, Dominic, is pretending to be him. Identical in every way, except Alexander was kind, gentle, brilliant. Dominic is a monster. And I can't prove it. She slid a folder across the table. Photos, documents, and a contract with a number that made Elena's vision blur. $50 million. I need you to marry him. Get close. Find proof he's an impostor. $25 million up front. $25 million when you deliver evidence that destroys him. Elena's phone buzzed. The hospital. Her sister was dying. They had 1 week to start treatment. She signed the contract that night. The wedding was cold, almost sterile. Dominic, or Alexander, as everyone called him, was stunning. Tall, dark hair, gray eyes that seemed to see through everything. But there was something wrong about him. Something that made her skin crawl. As they exchanged rings, he whispered, You're doing this for the money. Yes, Elena replied. Good. Stay out of my way, I'll stay out of yours. In 1 year, you'll be rich and free. But on their wedding night, Elena couldn't sleep. She wandered through the mansion, through hallways lined with family portraits, until she found his office. The door was slightly ajar. Inside, everything was immaculate. Too immaculate. She opened drawers filled with business documents, contracts, financial statements. Then she found a locked drawer. Her artist's toolkit included a thin metal pick. It worked. Inside was Alexander Sinclair's journal, dated from 2 weeks ago. But Alexander died 5 years ago. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Day 187 of my imprisonment. Dominic thinks I don't remember anything before the coma. He has no idea I've been awake for 6 months, trapped in this body, watching him destroy everything I built. Soon, I'll make him pay for what he did to Emma. For what he did to me. The journal fell from her hands. Alexander wasn't dead. He was alive. Trapped. Sharing a body with his twin brother. Elena spent 3 sleepless nights reading every entry. The truth was worse than she'd imagined. 5 years ago, Alexander and Dominic were in the car accident together. But Dominic died. Not Alexander. The body they buried was Dominic's. Elena found the original autopsy report in the journal, photocopied and annotated in Alexander's desperate handwriting. After the accident, consumed by guilt and pressure from the company, Alexander had a complete mental breakdown. He was admitted to a psychiatric facility for 3 months. That's when it started. Dissociative Identity Disorder. He created an alternate personality to cope with the trauma. He recreated Dominic inside his own mind. At first, it was just dreams. Then voices. Then blackouts where he'd lose hours, then days. And the Dominic personality learned to take control. Learned to suppress Alexander. Learned to become dominant. The journal entries were terrifying. I wake up and find emails I never sent. Contracts I never signed. Emma crying, saying I told her she was worthless, that she was imagining things. But I don't remember saying any of it. What's happening to me? 3 days gone. I came back and Emma is dead. Emma is dead. Dominic killed her. He tormented her until she couldn't take it anymore. I was screaming inside my own head, and I couldn't stop him. He's dosing our medication, keeping me suppressed. I only get a few hours every few days now. I'm disappearing. Please, if anyone finds this, please help me. I'm still in here. I'm still fighting. The grandmother wasn't crazy, but she was wrong about what was happening. There was no impostor. There was one man with two souls fighting for control of the same body. And Elena had just married both of them. She confronted him that night in the study. He sat behind his desk, reviewing contracts. "I know what you are," Elena said, holding the journal. "I know about the did. I know about Emma. I know everything." He stared at her, his face completely blank. The silence stretched like a knife blade. Then his entire demeanor changed. His eyes softened. His shoulders sagged. When he spoke, his voice was different, warmer, desperate, broken. "Elena, thank God. You found it. I've been trying to leave clues, but Dominic controls me most of the time now. I only get a few hours every few days." This was Alexander. She could see it in his eyes, in the desperate hope written across his face. "How is this possible?" she whispered. "The accident. The guilt. I killed my brother, Elena. I was driving. And I couldn't live with it. The guilt ate me alive until I created him. Brought him back. Gave him life inside my mind." Tears streamed down his face. At first it helped. Then he learned to fight back. To take control. To make me disappear. He started dosing our medication to suppress me. By the time I realized what was happening, Emma was already gone. He killed her. Not directly, but he tormented her, gaslit her, made her think she was going crazy until she jumped from our balcony. And I was trapped inside, screaming, unable to stop him. Elena felt her heart break. Then we stopped him. Together. Alexander grabbed her hands. "You don't understand. He knows you know now. I can feel him fighting to come back. And when he does, he'll kill you. You have to leave. Tonight." "No. I'm not leaving you trapped with a monster." Over the next 3 weeks, during the brief windows when Alexander was in control, they worked together. They gathered evidence. They installed hidden cameras. They documented everything. The medication Dominic was using to suppress Alexander, financial records showing embezzlement, emails he'd sent to Emma, tormenting her. But more than that, something happened neither of them expected. Elena fell in love with him. With Alexander. The man trapped inside his own body, fighting every day for control. He was everything Dominic wasn't. Kind, brilliant, gentle, and brave in a way she'd never seen. During stolen moments late at night, he told her stories about his life before the accident. About the dreams he'd had. About Emma, and how her death had destroyed him. And he fell in love with her too. "You saved me," he whispered one night. They were in the study, reviewing evidence. "I was ready to give up. To let him win. To just disappear forever. But you gave me something to fight for. We're going to win," Elena said, taking his hand. "We're going to get you free. Even if we do, I'll never be free of what I've done. Emma is dead because of me. You're not weak. You're the strongest person I've ever met." They kissed for the first time that night. For a moment, everything was perfect. Then he gasped. His body went rigid. His eyes went dark, cold, calculating. When he looked at her again, she knew. Dominic was back. Well, Dominic said, his voice completely different, harder, sharper, dripping with malice. "Isn't this touching? My wife and my other half falling in love. How poetic." He grabbed Elena's wrist hard enough to bruise. "Did you really think I didn't know what you two have been doing? Here's what's going to happen. You're going to destroy every piece of evidence. You're going to tell grandmother you were wrong. And then you're going to stay married to me, smile pretty, and never speak of this again. And if I don't," his smile widened, "then I'll make sure your sister never gets that experimental treatment she needs. The one I've been secretly funding through an anonymous donor. Yes, Elena, I know everything. I suggested you to grandmother. I've been watching you for months. I knew you were desperate enough to do anything to save her." Her blood ran cold. "Your dying sister is my insurance policy. One word from me, and that funding disappears. She dies within a week. Is that what you want? You're a monster." "No, I'm a survivor." Alexander was always too weak. Someone had to take control. He pulled out a syringe filled with clear liquid from his desk drawer. "This is experimental. Irreversible. One injection, and Alexander's personality will be erased permanently. His consciousness, his memories, his soul, all of it will cease to exist. And it'll be just you and me, Elena. Forever." "No," Elena screamed, fighting him, but he was too strong. He pinned her against the desk. "Don't worry. I'm not going to inject you. I'm going to inject myself. And then Alexander will be gone forever." Then, miraculously, Alexander's voice broke through. "Elena, run." For just a moment, Alexander fought back. The syringe fell and clattered across the floor. His body convulsed as both personalities battled for control. "Go!" Alexander screamed. "Get help. The evidence. In the safe. Code is Emma's birthday, please." Then Dominic roared back, and Alexander's voice disappeared. Elena ran. She grabbed her phone and called the grandmother. "He's going to erase Alexander permanently. We have to stop him now." "I'm on my way," the grandmother said. "I'm calling paramedics. Don't let him inject himself." Elena turned back toward the study. That's when she heard it. A crash. Breaking glass. A scream that sounded like it came from two voices at once. Then silence. She ran back to find the door locked. She pounded on it, screaming his name. Nothing. When the door finally opened, the grandmother had given paramedics a key. They found him on the floor. The empty syringe beside him. "He injected himself," the grandmother whispered, her voice breaking. "Just before we arrived. They wheeled him out. His eyes were closed. His face peaceful. Too peaceful." 3 days later, he woke up. Elena rushed to the hospital, her heart hammering. The grandmother was already there, holding his hand, tears streaming down her face. He looked up at them both, smiled, and said 2 words, "Hello, stranger." He didn't remember her. Didn't remember the wedding. The journal. The confession. The kiss. Nothing. The doctors said the drug had caused significant brain trauma. Memory loss was expected, but they couldn't tell her which personality survived. Was it Alexander who forgot? Or was it Dominic, pretending he did? If you're on the edge of your seat right now, smash that like button. This story gets even darker. Comment below. Do you think Alexander or Dominic survived? I'm reading every single comment. 6 weeks later, Elena discovered she was pregnant. She stood in the bathroom of the mansion, staring at the positive test, her hands trembling. She didn't know which one of them was the father. Alexander, the man she loved? Or Dominic, the monster who had threatened to destroy everything? That night, she went to visit him. He was in the study. He'd been discharged from the hospital 2 weeks ago. He looked up when she entered, his expression blank, neutral. "Elena, is everything all right?" She studied his face, searching for any hint of who was really there. "Any clue?" "I need to tell you something," she said carefully. He set down his pen, gave her his full attention. "I'm listening. I'm pregnant." For a long moment, he didn't react. Then slowly, very slowly, a smile spread across his face. But Elena couldn't tell if it was a smile of joy or a smile of victory. "That's wonderful news," he said softly, standing and moving toward her. "Truly wonderful." He took her hands in his, and she felt her heart racing. "Elena," he said, his voice gentle, his eyes soft. "I know I don't remember everything. The doctors say the memories might never come back. But I want you to know something." He pulled her closer. "Whatever happened between us before, whatever led to this moment, I'm grateful. And I promise you, I will be the best father I can be. The best husband I can be." Tears filled her eyes. "Do you mean that?" "With everything I am." She searched his face desperately. Was this Alexander, trying to tell her he was still there? Was this Dominic, playing the role perfectly? Or was it something else entirely? A man caught between 2 identities, trying to find himself? He pulled her into an embrace, and she closed her eyes, breathing in his scent, feeling the steady beat of his heart. "I love you," he whispered into her hair. And Elena realized with a chill that ran down her spine, she would spend the rest of her life wondering which one of them had said it. The grandmother died 3 months later, peacefully, in her sleep. At the funeral, he stood beside Elena, his hand protectively on her growing belly. He gave a beautiful eulogy about family, about love, about second chances. Everyone cried. Elena watched him, this man she'd married, and realized she would never truly know who he was. But here's what she did know. Whoever he was now, he was hers. And as she felt their baby kick inside her, she made a choice. She would love him, whoever he was, whatever he'd done, whatever darkness lived inside him. Because sometimes, the only way to survive a monster is to make it part of your family. And sometimes, the only way to save someone is to love them, even when you don't know if they're still in there at all. 3 years later, their daughter, Emma, named after the woman they'd both lost, was learning to walk. She had her father's gray eyes and Elena's dark hair. He was a wonderful father, patient, kind, gentle. He'd sold the company and started a foundation in his grandmother's name, funding mental health research and treatment for families who couldn't afford it. He never remembered anything from before the drug. The doctors said the memories were gone forever. But sometimes, late at night, Elena would wake to find him standing at the window, staring out at nothing. And sometimes, she'd hear him whisper a name in his sleep, Dominic. And she'd wonder, was Alexander still trapped in there, fighting an eternal battle she couldn't see? Was Dominic playing the role of a reformed man, biding his time? Or had the drug done something neither of them expected, merged them somehow, creating someone new? Someone who was both and neither at the same time? One night, she asked him directly, "Do you ever feel like there's someone else inside you, fighting for control?" He looked at her for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then he smiled. That same smile she could never quite decipher. "Every day," he said quietly. "But I think we finally learned to coexist." He kissed her forehead and went back to reading their daughter a bedtime story. And Elena realized, maybe it didn't matter which one survived. Maybe what mattered was that whoever he was now, he was choosing to be good. He was choosing to be the man Alexander wanted to be, even if Dominic was the one making the choice. The end. Sometimes the people we love carry darkness inside them. Sometimes the only way to save them is to love them through it. And sometimes, we never really know who we married at all. But we love them anyway. Because that's what family means. If this story had you hooked from beginning to end, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I've got more psychological thrillers coming that'll keep you up at night. Drop a comment. Was it Alexander or Dominic who survived? Or did they become someone new entirely? Let me know your theory below. And if you love this twisted tale, share it with someone who loves a good mystery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.